Representative from Malaysia, Global Student Ambassador from the National University of Malaysia. And from Thailand, we have Ms. Kukasina Kubaha, student from Chulalongkorn University. From the Philippines, we have Ms. Beatrice Miranda Reno, Secretary General from the Student Council Alliance of the Philippines. And last but not least, we have representative from China, Mr. Zhang Wenlong, postgraduate from College of Foreign Languages, Seoul University. Alright, so today for this session we'll be discussing the key challenges facing youth participation in promoting educational development in our respective societies. Following, I will share a little about the educational development landscape in Singapore. So as our country progresses and prospers, we notice that inequality is gradually becoming an issue. Recently, Dr. Vincent Chan, an established professor from the National University of Singapore, published a research paper that explored the geographical, racial, and gender distribution across junior colleges, which are essentially our pre-tertiary institutions. And he found that the top-tier junior colleges actually enrolled mostly Chinese students coming from better socio-economic backgrounds. This means that students of the other races and less well-to-do backgrounds receive better opportunities and resources relative to their wealthier Chinese counterparts. However, to mitigate this, youths with better resources are initiating changes in their own ways, such as peer tutoring, which many of the countries just now have mentioned. And even though individually it's a small change, but together we are tackling one of the greatest challenges facing youth participation in promoting educational development in Singapore. And so this is just a small snippet from my own opinions. So without further ado, I'd like to invite our first speaker, Mr. Jason Chong from Malaysia, to share your views on this topic.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to share with you, and also I'd like to welcome everyone to the second ASEAN China Youth Exchange visit. So before I begin, I believe all the head of delegation has this Malaysia Education Blueprint 2015 to 2025, which it can be referred to. So first and foremost, my name is Jason Cheong Kat Lok. I am a second-year law student from the National University of Malaysia. So I am the student ambassador of the International Relations Centre, UKM, and I am actively involved in various ASEAN platforms, namely the European Union support for higher education in ASEAN, which is the EU Share, which is an effort to harmonize higher education in ASEAN, as well as to foster intra-ASEAN mobility. So I would like to share my view and also experience with a few key points. Which first, to determine the stakeholders in education development. Second, the education development of Malaysia perspective. Third, the challenges facing youth participation, and lastly, suggestions and also way forward. So moving on, the first one is to determine the stakeholders in education and development. According to Freeman theory of stakeholders, there are a few stakeholders in education development, namely first the regulators, second the providers, and third the beneficiaries. And for regulators, they are governmental organizations comprising of ministries and departments at both central and state level. In Malaysia context itself, for the education, we have the Ministry of Education Malaysia, we have the Ministry of Higher Education Malaysia, we have the Ministry of Youth and Sports Malaysia, and lastly, the Ministry of Human Resources that deals with the development itself. So for providers, they are education institutions, public and private, international education institutions, and related organizations. And for beneficiaries, it is the society and the nation as a whole, parents, students, and etc. So we talk about the educational development in Malaysia itself. So we look into two, which are primary and secondary as well as the higher education itself. So the national education, in 1988, Malaysia came out with a national education philosophy. However, due to the declining ranking and also position in international recognition such as PISA and so TIMSS, Malaysia further will develop the education by having the Malaysia Education Blueprint 2013 and 2025 with 5 system aspirations, 60 attributes, 11 shifts to transform the system and so 3 waves in education transformation. And also for higher education itself, the education development in Malaysia we have the Malaysia Qualification Framework 2011 as well as the Malaysia Education Blueprint 2015-2025 on higher education, which consists of 5 system aspirations, 6 students aspirations, 10 shifts and also 3 waves in higher education transformation. Looking into the national education philosophy itself, it is in line with the 5 national principles, where it says Education Malaysia is an ongoing effort towards developing the potential individuals so that Malaysian youth can be holistic, integrated manner, intellectually, spiritually, emotionally and physically balanced and harmonized, as based on a firm belief in devotion to God, and produce Malaysian citizens who are knowledgeable and competent, high moral standards, responsible and capable of achieving high level of personal well-being and able to contribute to harmonize and betterment of the family, society and nation as a large. So looking into, as what I said, due to the declining ranking and also position in international recognition such as PISA and TIMSS, where, sorry, pardon me. As what I said, due to the declining ranking and also position in international recognition such as PISA and TIMSS, where we can see in the recent 2012 PISA ranking itself, Malaysia is ranked. Where we can see in the recent 2012 PISA ranking itself, Malaysia is ranked. Okay, so moving on. In the PISA ranking 2012, Malaysia is ranked 52 out of 65 countries, and comparatively, our friends from Vietnam ranked 17. And it is being spearheaded actually by first Shanghai, China, second Singapore, third Hong Kong, China, fourth Chinese Taipei, fifth Korea, and sixth Macau, China. So looking into these, therefore the government has further developed the national education blueprint with 5 system aspirations for the Malaysian education system. And it is being spearheaded actually by first Shanghai, China, second Singapore, third Hong Kong, China, fourth Chinese Taipei, fifth Korea, and sixth Macau, China. Okay, so among the 5 system aspirations for Malaysian education system itself is that first, access, second, quality, third, equity, fourth, unity, and also efficiency. And also there are 6 clear attributes needed by every student to be globally competitive, which every student need to have knowledge, thinking skills, leadership skills, bilingual proficiency, ethics and spirituality, and also national identity itself. For higher education, we have the Malaysian Qualification Framework 2011 with unique learning outcome domains that needs to be achieved. First, knowledge, second, practical skills, third, value, attitudes, and professionalism, fourth, problem solving and scientific skills, fifth, social skills and responsibilities, communication, leadership and team skills, information management, and also managerial and entrepreneurial skills itself. And the higher education really have 10 shifts, which ensure that the first 4 shifts are for the outcome and the rest of the 6 shifts are for the enablers itself. So moving on to the key challenges, which is the key point of my presentation, is that according to the Malaysian youth policy, where under the social challenges itself, one of the domain is to education. So in my point of view, the key challenges facing youth participation is first, primary education, second, globalization, third, youth inclusivity, and fourth, ASEAN awareness itself. Because we talk about education, especially today, we talk about national education, we talk about the primary, secondary, we talk about the higher education, as well as must not forget to talk about the regional education development itself. So the first point on quality of education, we look into the transition from high school into higher education as well as job market. Among the three challenges are first the program as syllabus, second the assessment, and third the transition period between the stages. Because the program and syllabus itself onto the quality of education. The program and syllabus itself needs to cater for the job market and employment itself, and it needs to strengthen, and the challenges are we need to strengthen university and also industry cooperations itself. And for assessment itself, one of the challenges is that the assessment focus mainly exam orientated. So the question arises is, what about students who are weak or are inclined? Does it mean that they do not participate in the education development of the nation itself? So as we can see, under the Malaysian youth policy also, on the second challenges is that the economic challenges, we can see one of the roaming there is employment. So moving on to the second challenges that I want to highlight is globalization. The challenges of the 21st century itself, there are four challenges. First, the global economic crisis. Second, global competition due to globalization. Third, as we have entered into the ASEAN economic community. And lastly, the fourth challenge is accelerating pace of change due to digital age, where everything is plugged into things and with the internet of everything. So the combination of all these four challenges create a tsunami effect on to the education itself. So as globalization, can see among the changes are the access to ICT as well as the use of social media as a tool in education itself. Whether social media is more inclined towards education or more inclined towards entertainment itself. And this is also being laid down under the Malaysian youth policy under the technological challenges itself. So therefore, what the government did was that under the shift higher education movement shift A and also shift 9, among the efforts that's being done is that they collaborate with other ministries, increase the proportion of international students, launch more making online learning as an integral part of the education itself. And the third key challenges is youth inclusivity. As what the delegate from the United States mentioned on the youth can be a part involved in policy making. The youth inclusivity that I mean is the policy making with regard to education, where we need to understand that students are major stakeholders in education itself. The opinions and supporters of students need to be heard. And perhaps currently what we are doing is a top-down approach. Perhaps we have shift into applying a long-term approach. And what Malaysia is doing is that we have initiated the youth parliament itself, where it is a platform for youth voices to be heard itself. And also the case study I would like to share here is the European Student Union. You can see that the European Student Union plays a very active role in the European policy and also the development process itself, where the European Student Union acts as a consulting member and co-chair with Bologna Group and also co-authors and also cooperate with the European policy and also the Bologna process itself. So perhaps these can be referred and also these can be learned by us. And the fourth challenges with regard to regional education development is the ASEAN awareness, which is the ASEAN. I refer to this global community education. According to UNESCO Institute of Statistics, in 2013 there are 230,000 students aware abroad to study. However, in 2013 the number of intra-ASEAN mobility of higher education program only contributed 9%, which is 19,800 from total amount students from ASEAN region. Among the keys to consider in a Malaysian perspective are perhaps Malaysian students are drawn to go to conventional countries such as Japan, Korea, UK, Australia, or US. And even if students are mobilized in ASEAN, they look to they are selective the type of countries they choose to go. Like we might want to go to neighboring countries. Some Malaysian students perhaps would like to go to Indonesia and vice versa due to similar culture and also lifestyles itself. So after all these challenges, among the suggestions that I would want to bring forward to everyone is that first, the student-centered learning itself. Student-centered learning represent both mindset and also culture within the different education institution, and it is a learning approach supported by theories of learning, innovative methods of teaching in order to promote learning in communication with teachers and other learners. We take students seriously as active participations in education, where it focuses on problem solving, critical thinking, and also active reflective thinking system. So all the principles of student-centered learning are being shown as student-centered learning requires an ongoing reflective process. It is not a one-size-fits-all solution. Students have different learning styles, they have different needs and interests. Choice is the central in effective learning and student-centered learning, and also students have different experience and also background knowledge. Students need to have control over their learning, and student-centered learning is about enabling and not telling, and learning needs to be a cooperation between students and staff. And on to the second submission I would like to bring is really teaching, redesigning learning. Well, education is to be flexible and also take a lot of time itself. And I would like to introduce a term which is education DNA and also edutainment itself. Edutainment is education and entertainment, but perhaps like what the delegate of China says as in education communication, where the social media is used and also can read entertainment itself. So edutainment. And lastly is to increase youth inclusivity and also sense of ASEAN in us, whereas we can enhance leadership. And this is the idea that we would like to move forward is an ASEAN student union itself. Where why is it so? Because first it caters for youth opinions to be more prominent. As when we have a student union itself, it will also increase the ASEAN awareness. And from that, we can see an example of the European student union itself. So last and not least, looking into student-centered learning and also looking into as teacher-centered learning are more of lecture and student-centered learning are more of project and also problem-based learning. And as it goes up, the action learning and the self-reliant learning gets more, and also the depth of learning also increases with student-centered learning itself. So, as what I said just now, I would like to introduce the term of education DNA. As you know, DNA has these elements itself, A, T, C, G. And A are attributes of learners and learning, T, transform teaching, C, centralize our curriculum, and G, globally, digital, and also global. So last but not least, to conclude, education is actually creating knowledge and also disseminate it to the society. Education is a way for states to educate future leaders.
So the first problem in the education in Thailand is that there is no platform for Thai students to express their opinions. There are no platforms to raise their voices. And the second key is the education is centralized in only popular schools or in big cities. And the third key is that the teachers don't have time to actually contribute or devote to taking care of the students because there are unnecessary paperwork to do. Okay, so the first key in the lack of student voices, although in Thailand there are a lot of students, the power to actually express opinions on these things. And in the classrooms, there are also, due to the culture, there is also hierarchy between teachers and students. So when it comes to this, when the students want to express certain things, what they want to learn about, sometimes they are not being heard, they're not listened to. And so, because I believe that in policy making, we all need to involve students into expressing themselves in developing the policy of education. Students must be heard. Moving on to the second key. the main problem in Thailand is that, as I said before, that the education is centralized. And this means that in the rural areas, there is also lack of facilities. And even though the students have potential, the rural students have potential to become great students and become leaders and stuff, but there are not enough facilities. There are lack of teachers, lack of books, lack of rooms, lack of schools. And therefore, in order to involve all of the students in the country to develop the education, it's really hard to do. And for the paperwork, Thailand has an assessment system that requires all the teachers to assess the students with a lot of paperwork, but this takes away the time from teachers to actually take care of the students because they have to focus on the paperwork, and therefore, in order to achieve a student-friendly atmosphere in the classroom, it's really hard to do. And as we all have the goal in achieving student-centered learning, it is required for both the students and teachers to have time to plan the lessons and it's I beg your pardon. Okay. As you all, as ASEAN has a goal of student-centered learning, it is required for both the teachers and students to have time for each other. And for that, when the students I'm really sorry. Okay, so for the main problem in achieving the student-centered learning is that the traditional schools in Thailand is that the teachers are in the classrooms are
representative from Thailand, Ms. Prakashima Kubaha. Thanks for sharing your experiences from Thailand. Next up, maybe invite Ms. Beatrice Miranda Reno from the Philippines.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Beatrice Miranda Reno, the Student Council, Alliance of the Philippines National Secretary General. I'm a third-year social work student from the University of the Philippines. I'm also the vice chairperson for student cycle director of our student political party, UB Alliance. But first of all, I would like to thank the organizing committee for inviting us to meet our counterparts and share insights here in this room. Moving on. Hi, good afternoon. Youth participation should be a cornerstone in promoting educational development because us youth are the main stakeholders in all educational participation. So the youth must have all of this say in what kind of education they will receive. And for the students to be able to meaningfully engage in educational institutions, they should be empowered in their own schools. And from the student sector, I believe this is where the student councils play a big role. So student councils should be a potent force in shaping the discourse for educational development. And student councils are also responsible in organizing and mobilizing students, creating their church, and consulting them in issues that concern them. But for a student council to be strong, to be respected by the educational institution, they should have strong student support. They have enough budget allocation that is also from the tuition fee or also from the administration. They should be autonomous from the school administration because sometimes they should be autonomous from the school administration because sometimes they just follow what the schools want them to do. And also they must be consulted on policies that concern the students. For example, in the University of the Philippines, the school administration recently re-enrolled a policy called the General Education Reform. And this will cause the required general education unit act. Therefore, can be considered an assault to the holistic approach of our university when it comes to learning. And during the University Council deliberations, the University Council is composed of faculties. They differ with the problem of the University Student Council and also for the student sector. So that's one example of how student councils can shape educational development. So we are an organization, co-organizing members. This is a forum of student and school administrators. So our organization is very active in consulting and meeting school administrators and how to forward good policies and education. There is actually a better way in forming student councils and institutionalizing student councils. It's passing the Students' Rights and Welfare Bill. But however, it's pending in Congress for the past 10 years. But unfortunately, some House representatives are backed by school owners and also our school owners themselves. So the challenge lies really in the student sector to come up with more creative ways in lobbying and passing the Students' Rights and Welfare Bill. So this is a picture of my friends from SCAP mobilizing in the another challenge is maximizing government channels for youth participation. In the Philippines, we have the bottom-up budgeting initiative. It's forwarded by the Department of the Interior and Local Government. It's actually a way for organizations to directly craft the budget of their communities and to receive funding for their programs and for their activities. So my organization staff recently joined the meeting for this bottom-up budgeting, and we mobilized and organized a conference to forward the Students' Rights and Welfare Bill. In the University of the Philippines as well, we also have this approach. It's recently passed last year. And student councils can also forward the needed facilities and the needed laboratories, for example, in their colleges. Another is National Youth Commission program. So we're here led by our leader here is our executive director from the National Youth Commission. The National Youth Commission is really active in making the youth participate in many programs for the youth. Another is the SK reform or the Sangguniang Kabataan. Actually like youth councils in towns. So recently it was reformed so that it would be more participatory and more reflective of the leadership. How do you call that? Anyway, it's more reflective of the leadership structure in communities. So so the youth in towns can also make their own resolutions, pass their own resolutions, and conduct their own activities. Another is the Abot Alam. So Abot Alam is actually a program for the out-of-school youth in the Philippines. It's launched, I think, in 2012, and the National Youth Commission is also a big part of the practice of this initiative. So I guess that ends my presentation. For your wonderful insight. Next up, we have Mr. Zhang Wenhong, representative from China, to share with us your views on this topic.
Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, first, thank you for your patience. I know it's been a long time and all of us are very hungry, so I'll go quick. It's a pleasure to be here today. And my name I work with university students to help them to apply for graduate degrees outside China, and have been served as the vice president of our college students. In the past, both China and ASEAN communities have shared common education problems, such as insufficient qualified teaching staff, poor education facilities, and unequal education opportunities for vulnerable and marginalized groups. But as time goes by, these challenges have more or less been solved. However, new challenges have arisen due to the digital revolution. Globalization and technology have dramatically changed how students learn and what they will learn in order to thrive in tomorrow's world. So today, I would like to discuss with you the challenges in educational technology in higher education. First, improving our digital literacy. With the proliferation of the internet, mobile devices, and other technologies, the traditional view of literacy as the ability to read and write has expanded to include understanding the digital tools and information. This new category of competence is affecting how colleges and universities address literacy issues. And lack of consensus on what comprises digital literacy is impeding many institutions from formulating adequate policies. Students today would appear to be more digitally literate than previous generations. Many of us have grown up immersed in technology-rich environments, but research has shown that this does not necessarily equate to competence, especially in an educational context. Understanding how to use technologies is a key first step, but being able to leverage them for innovation is vital to fostering transformation in higher education. So university leaders must first comprehend the wide spectrum of faculty needs before diagnosing professional development opportunities. Second, rewarding teaching. Teaching is often rated lower than research in academia. In the global education marketplace, a university's status is largely determined on the quantity and quality of its research. It's largely understood that when university administrators are considering candidates for tenure, full-time positions, extent of research is weighted more heavily than student evaluations and effectiveness of instruction. This is the result of an education system in which funding and prestige are derived from an institution's scholarly interest, which has created an inhospitable environment for educators who like to teach. And there is an overarching sense in the academic world that research credentials are a more valuable asset than talent and skill as an instructor. Because of this, efforts to implement effective pedagogies are lacking. Professors and students feel the brunt of this challenge as teaching-only contracts are underrated and underpaid. Third, inspiring creativity. Although being creative has long been a problem for us Chinese students, it has not been solved quite well. I think what drives human life flourishing is curiosity. If you can light the spark of a student, they will learn without any further. Students are natural learners, and curiosity is the engine of achievement. And now the reason I say this is because one of the effects of current culture here, if I can say so, has been to deprofessionalize teachers. There's no system in a school or in the world or any other school in the country that is better than its teachers. Teachers are the lifeblood of the success of schools. But teaching is a creative profession. Teaching is not a delivery system. we're not there just to pass on information. Great teachers do that. But what great teachers do is to mentor, to stimulate, to provoke, and engage. You see, in the end, education is about learning. If there's no learning going on, there's no education going on. The whole point of education is to get people to learn. A friend of mine used to talk about the difference between the task and achievement. You can be engaged in the activity of something, but not really achieving it. It's just like dieting, I'm on a diet, but am I losing any weight? No. So teaching is like a diet, it's like that. And you can also say that, yeah, there's David Beckham, he's teaching, but if nobody's learning, of course, that's not going to happen. He may be not engaged in a task of learning, of teaching. So the role of a teacher is to facilitate learning, and that's it. And part of the problem is, I think, the dominant culture of education has come to focus on teaching and learning, but testing. So in place of curiosity, what we have is a culture of compliance. Our students and teachers are encouraged to follow the routine patterns rather than to excite the power of imagination and curiosity. The above three challenges are just an tip of the iceberg. So I hope we all will keep working as hard as we can to help every student around us. Because if we do, I'm confident that we can get all of the students a future worthy of their talents and their dreams. Thank you all so much.
Thank you for the wonderful sharing from Mr. Zhang Yongyong. Alright, so to just a brief summary of what for this session today. First of all, the delegate from Malaysia shared with us that some of the key challenges facing youth participation in educational promotion are the quality of education, the lack of youth inclusivity, and also ASEAN awareness as well as globalization. And he suggested that to combat these, we should have more of student-centered learning, and we should rethink how we teach and redesign how we learn, as well as formation of opinion. From Thailand, our speaker shared with us that the key challenges that youth there face in promoting educational development is basically that there is no platform, the lack of a platform for the students to actually raise their opinions, that even though they actually have student unions, but they actually do not have the power to make impactful changes. And also the lack of facilities where students have the potential but they lack the resources to bring this potential to fruition, and that teachers are too occupied with legislative work and do not actually are unable to dedicate all their efforts in teaching students. And the delegate from Philippines shared with us that student councillors are very important in making youth presence more prominent in effecting policy changes. And she mentioned the Students' Rights and Welfare Bill, okay, and also the effectiveness of bottom-up budgeting and to maximize government channels for youth participation. And finally, our delegate from China mentioned the challenges of the insufficient and underqualified teachers, having poor facilities and also unequal opportunities in the more marginalized regions of China. And I think there's a very noteworthy point is that a lot of our Southeast Asian countries have this culture of compliance. So I think as students we know that sometimes it seems like as if the teachers are absolutely right and it is really hard to question them, right? Yeah, so I hope that through this discussion, we all realize the importance of youth in letting our voice be heard, in standing up for ourselves, in effecting changes, impactful changes that will actually change not only our own respective societies, but also improve improve the regional relations and even effecting changes across the globe. Of course, that point of globalization where we are becoming more and more digitally literate. Yeah, and so it is important for us to leverage on this technology, which the delegate from China actually shared with us. So basically, we believe that education should be something that amazing and not tiring. Actually, putting the delegate from Malaysia, and that we should have teachers who empower, facilitate, stimulate, provoke, instead of just maybe teaching and passing on knowledge. So now we will like to open the discussion also. So maybe one because I think everybody wants to go for lunch. I would like to from Thailand. As I mentioned, the organization in China will like organization and to educate the students. So if the learning system is not done with that reason, does China plan on implement the learning system in the future?
Every time we are qualified teachers, and now currently we are using either edition, for instance, in higher education area, we have the MOOC system and the flip-flop system. Teachers, just with the click of your mouse. So I think it's a good suggestion, and I believe our government is now already doing it. Thank you.
My name is Suman, and my question is maybe related to the speaker from Malaysia. And I do actually agree with that the university partnership with the industry to involve the curriculum for the 21st century students. Because what we learn from the university or from the school cannot apply in the fieldwork. And my question is, when you involve the business sector or the industry sector in the curriculum design, not only on or this is open for all the fields that you have the university also decide to revise curriculum or perhaps the priority first, second, third field, for example.
Thank you for the question itself. So basically, simple answer would be what we from the speakers on the governmental sector, on the governmental level as well as institution level itself. Developmental level is that the Ministry of Higher Education is actually collaborating with the Ministry of Human Resources under the Tibet Education. So there are engagements in the industry itself. And not only that, under the Tibet Education, especially where there are a lot of collaborations being made, for example, the German Malaysian Institute, the Advanced Malaysian Institute, and so on. They are actively being engaged to the industry itself. So on the second layer itself is the institutional engagement, where universities and MOEs with the industries in whatever sector it is to foster to increase the quality of education itself. Thank you very much.
Okay, so we'll accept one last question from
Thank you for the details. My name is Yuvita from Indonesia. One point that I highlight from the most speaker is youth participation and policy making, youth inclusivity. My question will be in technical levels, when how to ensure the voice of young people can be heard inside the government itself. I mean the quality control from outside, like our participation, our youth. Because as we know, even we already had such as youth parliamentary as a speaker from Malaysian state, but the vice decision and final policy making still inside the elite of politics, still inside the elite of government, the elite of the government, sorry. And that is why my question will be the control mechanism, how the outsider can make sure that our policy will, our suggestion will be heard inside the government. As we know.
Okay, so on youth inclusivity, as one I mentioned earlier on, is that the youth inclusivity in policy making with regard to education is how we want to make sure that the voice needs is more prominent itself. So I would like to share that the Malaysian initiatives of Youth Parliament, where we the youth are gathered and also come up with policies and also joint statements given to the government for recommendations. And not only that, perhaps we can, as what I mentioned in my presentation just now, where we can take an example from the European Student Union itself, how the active participation of the student union in the European policy as well as the Bologna process itself. One point that I would like to voice out is that there are various stakeholders in the framework of education itself, the government, the institution, the students. But do we know that the society wants the students to change? The society wants many changes in students. But do we know that actually, to my point of view, students is the weakest entity in the whole framework itself. So therefore, I believe that the support system needs to be strengthened in order for youth voices to be more prominent. Thank you very much.
Okay, one last question.
My question is to Mr. Zhang, representative of China. My name is Steven, I'm from Myanmar. Just two simple questions. What do the schools in ethnic minority areas focus on? And I would like to know also what language do they use, local language or both?
You mean when the university and college,
Schools, yeah.
and schools, when they introduce the technologies in the class, what languages do they use?
I mean, mainly in areas where there are ethnic minorities.
We mainly use in Chinese. Yeah, mainly use in Chinese.
The first question, is the school curriculum different?
Sorry?
Is the school curriculum different for areas where there are ethnic minorities, or is it the same curriculum all over the country?
These do not have specific curriculums for ethnic minorities.
Okay, thank you very much.
They have the same curriculum as the highlighted.
Thank you.
We mainly use the
Alright, thank you for the active participation. So that concludes the discussion for the key challenges facing youth participation in educational development. Thank you so much.
Can you please inform that lunch is ready to serve at the same place where you had breakfast this morning? And we have only 1 hour for lunch, so please come back to the meeting room by 1:50. Thank you.
Minta banyak dia, bukan pakai bisa. Paling foto dulu tak ada kamera. Dia masih kasih bisa foto. Bayar, ya bayar. Tetap ini oh iya, 16. Tidak. Enggak.
Saya ke kamar dulu, Kak.
Hah? Ini ya. Sama. Lumayan.
Duluan ya. Ada di sini semua.
Nah. Enggak matian. Lu bener-bener gak inget kan? Tadi pas gue nyampe di lift, gue tadi gue taruh di meja itu ya. Enggak, gue silent. Ada di nyambung. Nyambung. Dam. Sok gua. Ngeliat lu apa ngeliat mana? Hah?
Di Canggih ada kebakaran coy.
Kebakaran apa?
Kemarin. Selamat sih ya.
Kebakaran apa?
Oleh berita di live, lu lihat deh. Apa? Singapura Airlines usai mendarat darurat di Bandara Changi. Terlihat foto dan penumpang seluruh bagian mesin pesawat sebelah kanan ada dibakar.
Dari mana?
Baru banget sih kemarin.
Nggak, maksudnya pesawat dari mana?
Gue nggak tahu pesawat apa sih.
Wih, dari Milan.
Jam berapa tuh ya?
Malam.
Thank you.
gila juga sampai kayak si Pros ngomong minor system break problem. Itu minornya.
Mungkin baru kedetek kali sama mereka. Putri.
Yang kirim semuanya ya.
Itu colokan sedikit. Cuma dia sering mati awan, rusakin aja. Aduh. Mana linknya?
RABG Joto. RABG Joto.
RABG?
Joto.
Ih, mohon ya, RABG.
Joto.
Dot.
Ya, to. Ada era nih. Nah, RABG. Yaudah, ayo. Ada Indonesianya? Ayo. Mumpung lagi ada.
Di mana?
Dan boleh nggak yang ada di Indonesia ini?
Nggak bisa, susah dari Indonesia. Tadi kita udah coba dari bagusan di sana, ada ngambil dari sana beri.
Nggak belum download tuh.
Udah.
try to make it more convenient for myself. Okay, so this section, our topic is the contribution of youth leadership in development and future perspective of youth. So before I go further, what we're gonna discuss today, let me ask you one question. Anyone know how many youth are there in ASEAN and China? After we have heard about the presentation given from our secretary, anyone want to share what you have known? Okay, anyway, in ASEAN, we can see that more than 160 million youth, and in China, approximately about 35% are youth. Okay? Okay, so this is my content. First of all, I will explain one keyword, what is youth leadership mean? And second one, what youth have contributed to develop the society. And the last point is perspective of youth and my own perspective. So, anyone want to share your thought, what you understand, what the word means, youth leadership? Okay. So, youth leadership is the ability of how youth can understand, analyze what is their strength and weakness, the ability to set their own personal and vocational goals, the ability to have confidence and motivation, not only for themselves but also for the others, the ability to guide, influence, direct, lead people to do the task, and the ability to be a network. So, what youth have contributed to develop society? I have about 5 important points, and today I'm gonna link the real concept, the real context happened in Cambodia. I'm trying to apply the real story happened. I'm not trying to explain the theory. Alright? So, first one, I tell you the two things happen in Cambodia. You know, our Prime Minister Hun Sen, he said to my Samdak Akyapna Sanam Parayachun Sen, he created a lot of competitions for all youth from varieties of background to compete. And I want to raise one example. I am a role model, as you can see in the slide. So our Prime Minister Hun Sen reason he want all youth in Cambodia participate in developing society. So what is I am a role model is doing now? Well, he allowed all the youth to compete, and they can raise any topic such as traffic accident, education, violence, and so on. Any topic related to development of the society. And the second one, you already know the UYFC, the Union of Youth Federation of Cambodia, leading by His Excellency Hun Mani, son of our Prime Minister Hun Sen. Every year we conduct the Angkor Sangkran to welcome my new year. So by him doing this activity, he has his own vision that he allows all youth to generate the idea, to participate, to engage in conducting the event. And finally, we can see that the event can move smoothly because of the youth participation. So he provides the opportunity for youth to conduct the whole event. Sorry. And the third one, I want to share my own experience. And my story, what I have been contributing to develop society. Actually, I'm one of the recipients who received the scholarship, full scholarship for my bachelor degree, international business, bachelor degree of administration. And what I have done to society to develop my school environment clean, to support my natural resources,
we form a team, include with the private sector, the that we support the environment clean is that in school, we make sure that our class is clean, we make sure our school environment is clean, we join the activity to support the natural resource like last month, I joined with the Japanese to plant some trees at the countryside. So these are the activities I have shared with society. Not only that, but also I have my own team. Those who are good at understanding the class tutorial, they can help to explain to students who are not really understanding lecture from our lecturers. And what is, sorry. Okay. So,
turned on. Thank you.
So what is your future perspective?
Still doing it.
I have about 5 or 6 important points. The first one I'm talking about education and work expectation. You know, last few decades, many of people believe that only city or big town can provide them with a good education. So in order to pursue their dream to be educated or to be a part of labor market, so they need to live from their original region to the city. So this activity continue to make the smaller town and villages to struggling with continuing population decline. But now in Cambodia, our government have the strong vision. We try to encourage and spread all the education sector to the countryside to make sure that the ordinary country students have ability, have the resource, capacity